Hello, 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 hello. How you doing? It's Gus Tucker and it's Financial Freedom Friday. Let me turn this light on real quick. See, put a little more light on the subject. Oh, there you go. How you guys doing today on Friday? Man, it's June 2022. Time is going by extremely fast, and I don't know about you, but I'm fired up. I am because I'm learning so much. And we have an awesome conference I'm a part of right now, and we spend the weekend in Dallas as one of the conference speakers. And we're going to be talking about today kind of scenario 3 of what we've been talking about, where your finances, where your cash flow is greater than your expenses, cash flow equal to your expenses, and then cash flow less than your expenses. And that's where we're at today. I'm going to do a quick review, then we're going to jump into that. But the number one thing I want to say, man, is be encouraged, okay? If you are alive and if you're watching this show, I hope you're alive. If you're not, tell me how you did that, okay? So if you're watching this show, you're alive, be encouraged. Your future is bright, and we can continue to learn and grow and develop and change and be the people that God called for us to be, man. I'm telling you, I'm excited about that. So, a couple ways. If you could put this on there, give them my phone number, 312-569-0757. 312-569-0757. It's going to go to a voicemail. Believe me, your questions, your messages, email me, okay? Email me so we can get the information to you that you need. Email me or hit our Facebook page, Financial Freedom Fridays. Hit the Facebook page and get us your questions. This is about us communicating and working together. That's what this is about. So let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, three. That's the number. Hit me up. Hit me up. It's going to go on the voicemail. I'll call you back, okay? But financial independence is about the state of having sufficient personal wealth to live without having to work actively for basic necessities. And, what would your life be like if you were living like that, where you had enough money coming in from your real estate, from your investments, from your work, that you would be in a situation where you didn't have to go to work for money. You went to work because you felt like you were called to do it. That's what your purpose is. And that's the only reason you went to work. How would that be? That can be a reality. So go take the quiz. You guys have seen this before, but we need to have more of you taking the quiz. Why? Because that means you're taking the decision to change. You guys ever heard of Bruce Lee? Martial artist, world class. One of the first things he would ask his students, he would show them a full glass of water. And he would tell them, say, look, if you come to work with me and your cup is full, that I can't put anything in it and you can't learn. Doesn't mean that student didn't know anything or they weren't smart or they weren't capable, but they couldn't get what the person who was going to be teaching them or sharing some information with them had to say. I'm not saying I'm smarter than you, but all I'm saying is I'm different than you. I want you to think about this. Think of all the people that have ever lived on the earth since the beginning of time. How many people is that? It's a lot. How many of those people were you? What you talking about? How many of those people were you? One. You are special. You are one. You are the one called to be you and called to do the things in this life that you're called to do. And I'm just as special as you are, and you're just as special as me. But if I'm going to learn from you, you know what I got to do? empty my cup. And I want to learn from you. That's why I want to hear questions and get comments and things like that so I can learn as well. But have you emptied your cup or not? Okay, one of the ways you can tell you emptied your cup is, are you willing to take the challenge? Are you willing to read the free ebook I'm going to send you? Are you willing to do the checklist to look at your financial situation and make sure you're covering all the bases and get your free financial needs analysis? Okay? It's real simple. No obligation, no hard sell, no nothing. Okay? Encourage you to read this book, How Money Works. I've been encouraging you to get the book, read it, get the book, read it, get the book, read it. Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning, please. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is get the Truebill app. I was working with a client last week, one of the clients, and I asked her, she makes good money, very good money, over $20,000 a month, $20,000 a month. But she had money, she didn't know where it was going. Imagine you don't know where $3,000 to $5,000 a month is going. You know, hello, Dorothy from Holly Springs, Mississippi. Imagine you didn't know where $3,000 to $5,000 a month is going. That's some people's whole salary. So she on Truebill and started tracking her money, and she started finding out where the money was going. Now we're going to be able to make some huge strides for her going forward. I encourage you to get Truebill and understand your cash flow, because you can only be in one of these three positions. Your cash flow is greater than your expenses, it's equal to your expenses, or it's less than your expenses. Your priorities are different depending on where you're at. I'm going to give you some tips. Don't take them as advice. Don't take them as Gus said I should do this, and then you go do it and something bad happens, then you want to get mad at me and sue me. No. Get with a financial professional, myself, someone on our team, someone that you know. Get with them and go through your process. Hello, Tina from Houston. Go through your process, okay? Now, here's what I like to do. I'm going to skip all the way to slide 32, because that's where we're starting for this next part. Slide 32, I'm going to skip down to there. And this scenario 3, where your cash flow is less than your expenses. And this is true for people sometimes. Maybe you got laid off, had a person who got hurt. They were on workers' comp, which wasn't as much as they were making. You understand what I'm saying? People that have gotten laid off because of the pandemic or other reasons. Cash flow is less than your expenses. What do you need to do in this situation? First thing is not to panic and freak out or get scared. No reason to do that. Okay? Very simply, we're going to increase our income while reducing our budget in areas that we can. Okay? That's the simple plan. So we're going to do 4 things. We're going to find ways to reduce our spending. We're going to walk you through some ideas. We're going to find ways to increase our income. And these things are true for you no matter how much money you make. We're going to encourage you to leverage term life insurance with living benefits. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then develop an emergency fund. Okay? Now, we've got about 15 minutes to fly through this. Okay? 1, reduce your spending. As we talked about in a couple different scenarios, we're going to look at your check. If you get a cash refund or tax refund, we're going to look at ways to put more money in your check by changing your W-9s so you increase your cash flow. So if you are getting a tax refund, we can get that money put back in your check on a monthly basis, right? Get you investing and saving some of it and get some of it put back into your lifestyle. Make sense? And we can show you how to do that. Next thing, reduce dining out. I was talking to somebody this week, and for 2 people, you know what their food bill was? What would be a lot? What do you think? Can you give me some comments? If you had 2 people, you and a 5-year-old, you're a grown person, you got a 5-year-old, and you're a female, You got a 5-year-old. What would be your food budget for 2 people? Okay, 2 people. Give me some guesses. Let me see some guesses come across Facebook or however you watch it. Let me see some guesses come across. Come on now. Help me out. Help me out. $1,000 for 2 people. For 2 people. Okay, Christina, I see you. $3,500. Now, this is food, guys. Food. Food only. This is just eating. This is just eating. What do you think it should cost somebody to eat? 2 people, you, an adult, and a 5-year-old in a month. How much is $3,500? I'm coming to eat with you. I want to eat what you eating every day. Okay, one more. Let me get one more. I appreciate $500. Okay, thank you very much. Theirs was $1,200. $1,200. Now, do you think that was too much? Not enough. We could save some money there. Okay, I think they can save some money. $1,200. That's $40 a day. And you got a 5-year-old and you. I think you can save some money. So look at dining out. Look at online subscriptions. Okay, cancel unneeded ones. You know, if you use it and you're watching it, great. But if you don't, man, don't. Okay. At my house, we're on a serious declutter campaign. Anybody else out there need to declutter, or am I the only one? I got folks in my family storing stuff at my house. This has to stop. Decluttering. We're either giving it away. I'm not going to take the time to sell it, but you could. I know a person that started an online business doing that, and they make thousands of dollars every month selling stuff like that. So sell stuff you don't need or give it away as a tax donation. Review all your current services: mobile phone, auto and home insurance, streaming, cable, home Wi-Fi, apps you use. Can you get them cheaper and do without them? Just asking, just checking. Look at all those things, compare them. Okay. Well, here's a big one: improve your credit to reduce payments. If you have a car or a house and your credit score improves, if it was lower when you bought that car or that home and your credit score improves, you can refinance. Depending on what your interest rate was, you can refinance and lower that payment, and that money goes back in your pocket. Okay, call the credit card companies to reduce your interest rates. Do you know if you call them and you threaten them that you're going to go to another company if they don't reduce your rates, many of them, many times will reduce your credit card rate just by calling them, because they'd rather have you as a customer at a lower rate than lose you altogether. Does that make sense? Call your credit card companies. Call anybody you owe money to and say, hey, look, I can't make this payment or can't make it at this rate, and negotiate with them. If it's involving money, for the most part, it's negotiable. You got to just be willing to do it. Okay? Increase your giving and your saving. What? I thought we were talking about increasing our income. Well, it says in the book I read that the one who gives, the one who waters will be watered. What you invest out, you get back. And I've seen it time and time again. You invest out and things come back. You don't do it with that motive. That's manipulation. You don't do that. But with a true heart of giving, it comes back. Also, saving money. We need to save and start building an emergency fund. We're going to talk about that as tip 4. Look for ways to reduce your utility bills. Up here where I live, there's gas, there's water, there's electric. We even pay for waste removal. You know, all these different things that are built into your utility bill. Check them out. See if there's a way to reduce them. Unsubscribe from emails. Why? Because they're usually selling something. And every now and then we fall prey to one of them. You know, if you fall prey to them. Get those phone calls where they got travel for next to nothing. All you got to do is get the plane ticket and da 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 da, all that stuff. Pack your lunch, go to work. Okay? Where you're not dining out, it's part of that dining out. Always ask for discounts. My mother, as a single mom, would embarrass the fool out of me with this. No matter where she went, no matter what store it was, there's no for sale sign, there's no clearance sign, there's no nothing. My mom would negotiate a discount. And probably I would say 8 out of 10 times she got a discount of one sort or another. Do it, man. Do it. Have a no spend zone in your calendar. Take a day or two off a week where you don't spend any money. What do y'all think about that? Have a couple of days a week where you just don't spend any money. What do you think about that? No spend zone. You have a no fly zone. This is a no spend zone. Okay. No Starbucks. Do you have coffee at your house? Do you have a container that you can put it in? How much is a cup of coffee you make it at home? You buy one of those pods or you buy some coffee, you make it at home versus how much is a Starbucks? The longer the title of your drink at Starbucks, the more it costs, right? Oh, man. Those Starbucks add up every day, man. You can spend hundreds of dollars at Starbucks. Easy. Music and books pretty much are free nowadays to a large degree. But they got, there's a library, there's a couple of them, one called Hoopla, and there's another one called Libby. Well, if you've got a library card, you can go to their online library and take out ebooks and music. And it's contemporary stuff. It's stuff that's relevant now, not just stuff that's like 50 years old. Books and music available, library online. Pretty cool. So that's about reducing your spending. Now, look, you're not going to get rich trying to reduce your spending and pinch pennies. You're not. But it's smart to do that and to be a good steward of your money. Look for ways to improve your income. What's the first way? Number one way is own a business. I believe everybody in America ought to own some sort of business. I know you got a full-time job or whatever, doesn't matter. You still need to own a business of some sort. Why is that? One, the income opportunity. There's an opportunity to make money. And if you're running a business and you have a job, you're going to do better at your job because you own a business, because you're going to think like an owner. You're going to understand what the owner of your company is trying to do. You're going to perform better and watch your income go up at work because you own a business. Crazy, right? So look for income opportunities. Next is a tax reduction opportunity. I'm about to go I'm going out of town this weekend. Going to stay at a really nice hotel. We're going to eat well. We're going to a business conference, and the whole thing will be a write-off. I'm going to make some new friends, some new business associates. I'm going to learn a lot, and it's going to be a tax deduction. How about it? Business owners get tax deductions for their cars, for their home, for their offices, for their travel, for many things. Is a tax reduction opportunity. Also, another reason to own a business is multi-generational wealth, where you can work in your business with your family. And you guys can be building an asset that'll stay in your family. Because here's how it usually works, right? Think about it. Walk with me now. When you were born, did you start at the top or bottom of your career when you got started? Well, at the bottom. If it was a job, you started at the bottom. If it was your own company, where'd you start at? The top, because your name's on the front door. If every generation has to start at the bottom of their career, income-wise, as well as understanding-wise, how are we building a legacy over the long haul? Versus building a business or a skill and your kids don't start over. Does that make sense? not to start over every generation at the bottom and have to learn something new. I'm just saying, hey, number one thing you can invest in and get the highest returns on is yourself. It's you. You, the person, not a stock, not a piece of real estate, not a business. It's investing in you. You're going to get the highest returns from that. Trust me. So what are you reading? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. What are you doing to change your thinking and your thought process? What are you doing? Last thing under starting a business is learn communication and sales skills. I don't like that sale. I don't like the sale. I don't like salesmen. So this person said I went from delivering newspapers and having got to get this out the way, and having a paper route today being the CEO of an accounting firm. Well, Stephanie, we need to get your information so we can interview you and learn how you did that. That's what I'm talking about. Send us your information. Let's get you interviewed. Okay? Learn communication and sales skills. Because everything in life is about communicating ideas to another human being. If you have kids, you're trying to communicate your value system to them so they'll behave a certain way. If you're single and you're trying to date someone, you're communicating to them and convincing them why they ought to invest their time and their life with you. Everything in life is about communication and influencing other people. So if you don't want to learn how to sell, what you're saying is you don't want to develop as a person. You don't want to develop your God-given ability to influence other people. Learn communication and sales skills. It will build your confidence. Okay? Find a mentor or a business system to plug into. If you're going to start a business, get a mentor who's further down the road in that business than you are and plug into them. Or plug into a business system that will mentor you. Master your craft, model success, and give yourself time to grow from failure. Nobody goes straight to the top. Nobody does. It's going to take time. It's going to take a commitment. Okay? Man, we're at a conference here in Chicago, and on Wednesday night, the person talked about that. Go read Luke chapter 5 about Peter and Jesus and Peter being on the boat and fishing all night, not catching anything, and then what happened. It's the story of perseverance. He was on the right lake with the right equipment, with the right experience. Okay? But his timing was wrong, and he took counsel from common sense rather than from God. When he took counsel from God and not just his common sense, he caught a load of fish that was too big to bring into the boat. He had to get people involved with him. So learn how to become a learner of a mentor, and don't give up, because your time will come. Your time will come. Change your thinking now. Okay, this gentleman spoke. I'm at a conference I was at yesterday, and I'm going to be spending the weekend with him. Olakunle Sodian. He's a futurist. He writes and contributes to Forbes magazine. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He has business incubators and accelerators in 5 different countries in Africa and in California and Texas here in the States. And he's mentoring over 200 entrepreneurs. And they've helped companies become very, very successful and be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's on YouTube. He's on YouTube. You know, go and check out his site. I hear you. Virtual business ownership, no doubt about it. I've got a couple sources of income that happen virtually. Makes a lot of sense to do that. We're virtual right now. I'm in Chicago. You guys are all over the place, and we're having this conversation. So Olakunle Sodian, listen to him. Listen to everything you can by him and read it. He's going to challenge your thinking. Also, get these 2 books by Ed Milet, someone I know personally. Get his first book called Max Out, and his second book called Power One More. They're very practical. Put them to use. Okay, I'm going to skip the rest of these and go to the next one. There are 2 things that can screw up your financial plan. Guess what the 2 most devastating things are that can screw up your financial plan? Let me take some feedback from you. What do you think those things are? The 2 things that can mess up your financial plan more than anything else. What do you think those things are? It's 2 of them. I'm curious to know what you would say they are. 2 things. Anybody have any perspectives on that they'd like to share? 2 things. Going once, going twice. Credit cards. Credit cards will definitely mess it up. You got that right. Credit card. Lack of planning, running out of cash flow. That'll definitely mess it up. That'll definitely mess it up. Here's the 2 things. The first one is dying. What? The second one is almost dying. Who woke up this morning and said, today's my last day? Unless you've got some sort of terminal illness, you really don't know. You're not thinking about it. But nobody wakes up and says, this is it today. That's it. I'm gone. Okay? And nobody says, I almost made a decision in my car this morning that, man, that wouldn't have been good. And I don't know what kind of shape I'd be in right now, but I'm glad I didn't do it. An accident can happen in a split second. And the way one of my pastors says, on an ordinary day. You want to have life insurance, and you want to have, nowadays they have life insurance that has what are called living benefits, where you don't have to die to be able to draw money out of a term life insurance policy. And this term life insurance policy is super cheap. It's super cheap. And it's when you need a lot of insurance, but you don't have a lot of money. Get a term policy and make sure it's convertible, meaning down the road, you can convert it into a permanent policy, which we're doing for several people right now. And it'll allow you to build a cash value over time. But as a term policy, it's just straight insurance. But check this out. A friend of mine's nephew, I'm with you, Tina, had 7 children. 7. They adopted some and they had some. They had 7 children. Guess how much life insurance they had? One breadwinner, because the mom was homeschooling the kids and things like that. One breadwinner in the house. Guess how much life insurance they had? 0. Make a long story short, somebody on our team got them to buy a $500,000 policy with living benefits. What does that mean? You don't have to die. You can have a critical chronic illness and get the money. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Make a long story short, he was able to pull out $440,000 out of that $500,000 policy while he was alive. He lived 2 more years. He was able to do some alternative medicine, able to do some stuff with his family, and he had $440,000 by which he could do that with. And he couldn't work and his wife couldn't work. Did that policy save their family? Yes, it did. And it was less than $100 a month. And he's an older gentleman in his 40s. It was less than $100 a month. He had that policy for about 18 months or so. So for $1,800, he got a $440,000 benefit. Is that a good return? Because most term policies don't pay out. You outlive the coverage. But if you give it with living benefits and you get it for long enough, over the next 30 years, something's probably going to happen. It's just the way life is. So I encourage you to make sure you get life insurance, get with somebody and get the right kind. We don't have time to go through it all right now. We're going to go through a little bit more next time we get together. You want to do that. And then have an emergency fund. Start saving money out of every check. Save consistently. It's about the habit. Do 1 push-up a day. 1 push-up, that ain't much. It's okay. Do 1 a day. And do 1 today. Do 1 today. Then tomorrow, do 2. Tomorrow I'll do 2. Next day you might do 2. You might do 2 again. Then do 3. Then do 3. And just keep going up over the next month. That habit you started with 1 push-up can really build into something if you just stay consistent. You need to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months or more of either your income or your expenses. So when things happen, you're taken care of. Gus, but I don't have any money, and I don't have enough money to make my bills. You want me to save money? Now listen to what you just said. First thing I want you to say is, who got you into the mess you in? You might want to stop listening to that person and listen to somebody else. Start saving. Whether you can pay all your bills or not, start saving something and developing that habit. And over time, what happens to your income? Okay, we're out of time. This time we're going to come back and revisit this. There are a couple of things I want to go over in more detail, but have a great weekend and listen to Ola Kunle. Let me go back to his name. I'm going to go back. Please find him on YouTube, okay? This gentleman right here. Find him on YouTube. Look him up. Find him on YouTube. Listen to anything he's talking about. I'd start with the stuff earlier and go back to the stuff later, but listen to him. Get those 2 books and start applying them. Guarantee your income's going to go up. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have a great Friday. It's Financial Freedom Friday. It's Gus Tucker. Share this with other people. It's helpful. Let me know what was helpful to you, what wasn't helpful to you, so we can make changes that'll work for you, okay? This show is for you. It's not for me. All right. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.